Good morning, girls. In the last class, we saw how the Egyptian history was divided into the Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and the New Kingdom. Today, we'll be discussing about the political life, society, and the family life of the ancient Egyptians. Political life. The king was called the pharaoh, and he was the head of the government and the administration. So the Egyptian king, he was known as the pharaoh, and he headed the government as well as the administration. Now administration, it is a body which takes care of the law, which makes sure that the laws are being implemented and executed in the right manner. The pharaoh had absolute powers, with his word being the law. So the Egyptian king, the pharaoh, he had absolute powers. Now, absolute power means where he was free from any restrictions. He was the ultimate authority, and his will was the word. So whatever he spoke, his word was the law in Egypt. The people of Egypt looked upon the king as a god because he was believed to be the representative of God on earth, and his statues adorned the temples. So the people of Egypt, the Egyptians, they considered the king as God because they believed that he was the representative of God. He was a representative of God on earth. They believed that he was sent by God on earth to take care of them, and so they decorated the temples with the statues of these kings. Adorned means to decorate. So all the temples in Egypt, they had statues of these kings. He was assisted by a number of officials who also helped in tax collection. Now, this king, he had many assistants. He was assisted by officials. He had many officials under him, and these officials, they used to collect taxes for the king. The king used to gift large estates to private owners, but at the same time used to receive a major part of their produce as tax. So the king, he owned large estates. Estate means large areas of land, property. So the king had large areas of land, and he used to give these large areas, these estates, to the private owners as gift. And in return, these private owners, they had to pay some tax. So whatever produce, whatever profit they got from the land, a large part, a major part of that profit was paid as tax to the king. For the purpose of efficient administration, the whole country was divided into provinces called nomes, each of which were governed by an official called nomarch. So Egypt was a huge country, and it was not possible for the king to take care of the whole country. So to make the administration much easier, the country, Egypt, was divided into provinces. Provinces means into different regions, and each of these provinces was known as the nome, and each nome was headed by an official. Each nome was taken care by an official who was called the nomarch. This is about the political life of ancient Egypt. Now we'll move on to the society. The Egyptian society, like any other ancient societies, had a hierarchical social order with distinct classes. Now we had learned about societies in Mesopotamian civilization and the Indus Valley civilization. So in all those societies, they were divided into different classes according to their social ranks. So in the same way, here in this Egyptian civilization also, the society was divided into different classes, into distinct classes based on their social ranks. Hierarchical means it is an arrangement which is based on ranks. So they had different social ranks, and on the basis of these social ranks, they were divided into different classes. The upper class consisted of the royal family, rich landowners, high-ranking priests, government officials, and doctors. So in the upper class, they had the royal people, rich landowners, high-ranking priests who held high positions, who held high ranks, and government officials and doctors. The middle class consisted of merchants, manufacturers, craftspeople, and the lower clergy. So the middle class, they had the ordinary people, the merchants, manufacturers, craftspeople, and the lower clergy. Clergy means the religious people, those people who perform religious duties. So here in the middle class, they had the lower clergy, like the low ranking priests. Clergy means religious people who perform religious duties like priests. So in the upper class, they had the high ranking priests, whereas in the middle class, they were the lower ranking priests. The lower class consisted of the peasants. At the bottom of the social hierarchy were the slaves, who were mainly prisoners of war. So in the lower class, they were the peasants, the farmers, and these were the three main social classes in the Egyptian society. And below these social hierarchy, below these three classes, there were the slaves, who were prisoners of war. Now we'll move on to the family life.